Hey everybody, Henry Fernandez here again. Thank you so much for joining me on this podcast today. We're going to talk about the 7 best practices of 2021. You know, in companies, you'll hear the term a lot about what are the best practices of that company. Even in ministry, I've applied those same principles in the kingdom of God, making sure that our ministry adhere to our best practices. But the question is, what are the 7 best practices of 2021? I'm going to lay them out to you in a few moments, but I want to also set the foundation here on why it's important for you to make sure you follow these best practices. First of all, 2021 is the year of new discoveries. What does that mean? What it is saying is that in this year, the year of 2021, God has already placed, unbelievable blessings on the calendar of this year. They're not just going to come to you like that. You know, this is a year of discoveries. You've got to discover this year. What has God placed in the year for you? You know, I know it's kind of like hard to accept because a lot of you have been trained to believe, especially when it comes to faith, that God's going to do everything for you, that you just need to show up and God will just throw all the blessings to you, no work, no effort on your part. But that's not true. The Bible makes it clear that faith without human works is dead. In other words, unproductive. And I want you to know that you can win in 2021. You can discover all of the things that God has in store for you in your personal life, your family life, your social life, your finances, your love life. In business, in your career, you can find the blessings that God has already placed in those areas of your life. It's up to you to go discover them. Now, how do you do that? You do it by following certain principles. That's it. I have to tell you this. Please hear this because, again, I grew up a certain way. And though my forefathers meant well, I think there were some basic principles, common sense principles they did not pass on to us. Thus, we live in this kind of a fairy tale life, a mindset that we want things to happen magically, But I need to tell you that in order for you to achieve great success this year, you're going to have to follow some practices. I call them best practices. You're going to be willing to submit to these rules. If not, you're not going to win. Now, I oftentimes say this, that if you think that you're smart enough, that you really don't need to be tutored, you don't need to be empowered, you don't need to be in any kind of a setting like this. You don't want to be a part of a community of people who empower themselves through podcasts, through a seminar, a workshop, or even social media, the good part of social media, by the way. If you feel that, you don't need all of that, then you are kind of wasting time on this platform right now. But if you're looking to transform your life and you understand that God will place people and their organizations, their influence in your life to better equip you, then this podcast today is for you. It was specifically designed with you in mind. That you can make it through life, that you can be successful, that in 2021, if you follow these 7 best practices, you can have, to me, an enjoyable, rewarding, fulfilling life. All right, so let's talk about these 7 best practices to have in 2021. All right, now, number 1, you got to choose to live without stress. In other words, choose to live stress-free. Why don't we just say it that way? So number 1, choose to live stress-free. Make up in your mind that there's some things you're not going to be able to change or prevent. Therefore, when they happen, okay, you're not going to let it stress you out. You're not going to let people stress you out. You're not going to let the lack of money. You're not going to allow the challenges of life to stress you out. Do you not understand that one of the number 1 reason or cause for people to be sick or having a nervous breakdown or perhaps having hypertension, it's stress. It's medically proven. And many of you have lived past years totally stressed out. And I know it's a battle for some of you. It's a battle. You're like, how can I do this? How can I win in life? How can I live a life without stress? Henry, you don't understand. My goodness, man, I don't have enough money that I work for my job to pay my bills. I'm battling this sickness. I don't have insurance, or I need a car, I need an apartment. I mean, the list goes on and on. Or my kids are stressing me out. My grandkids are stressing me out. My spouse is stressing me out. My children, coworkers, my boss, my job is stressing me out. And can I be honest with you? Some of you can honestly say you're stressing yourself. You're a stress to yourself. Think about that for a moment. I mean, it's a reality. But ladies and gentlemen, you can live a stress-free life if you choose to. That's the reason I am asking you that in 2021 to live a stress-free life. Laying aside all of the concerns that you have, casting all your cares on the Lord, and go live your best life. So make a pledge right now. Make a pledge. As you're listening to this podcast, I know you're very emotional right now. I sense it. You're very emotional right now. And I'm talking directly to you. And I just pray to God that you would just send me a response. You would just make a comment and say, Henry, thank you. Thank you. You're a godsend. God sent you today with this podcast to talk to me because you are a nervous wreck right now because I've hit a soft spot. You're crying, actually. I get it. That's okay. That's okay. Let it flow. That's okay. You're not alone. You are absolutely not alone. It's okay to express your feelings. It's okay. Maybe somebody's in the room with you. Maybe you're in the car by yourself. I understand that. Okay, let it all out. Because you've been stressing yourself. You're not feeling well. You've got a lot of headaches and you're going to the doctor. Some of you are scared to go to the doctor. Some of you have sent your pressure up because you're stressing yourself. Right? You're more concerned about what people think. God, you got to be delivered, man, from people's opinion. Lord, help. As long as you're concerned about what people think, and I'm not saying now you ought to live a loose life where, you become arrogant. No, I'm not telling you don't be accountable to people. What I am just saying is don't let people hold you hostage to making you miserable. You're trying to live to please them. I've discovered this, not everybody. Please don't think that I'm saying everybody's like this. But what I have discovered is that majority of the people in society, you will never please them. You will never measure up to their satisfaction. Why? Mentally, they don't know how to commend, appreciate, affirm, support someone. So therefore, if they say my expectation is A, here it is, you work so hard to get to A, and then they'll tell you, that's not good enough. B. So then you work hard, you go to B, and then they start acting like you haven't reached the mark. Then you go, in other words, I'm telling you, you'll run out of the alphabet and they still won't be pleased with you. You got to live your life for the glory of God and for yourself, and don't worry about people. You have to. Don't worry about people. People are going to be people. Okay? I know you've had a lot of setbacks. You've had some embarrassing moments. You're hurt because you've been hurt. You're offended. And, quite honestly, let's be honest, you're not healed. Man, I wish I had time to talk about that. You're not healed. So therefore, you're completely stressed. You're stressed on the job. You're stressed with the kids. Some of you've got 3 children. They're young. You're working. You're hustling. Some of you've got 2, 4. You're hustling. And guys come into your life and take advantage of you. And so forth. And you're wondering, God, when am I going to get a break? And you're stressed financially, you're not getting enough rest, and you're hustling from one job to the next, and it goes on and on. I'm telling you, listen to me, girl. Listen to me, woman. You can live a stress-free life if you choose to. There's some drastic steps you're going to have to take. You may have to go back and take inventory of your life and see what are the things that you're doing that are unnecessary for you to do. Those are unnecessary things. And because, for example, maybe let's say financially you're completely stressed out. Look at your spending. Look at your cost of living. Are you living within your budget? And if you're not, honey, I'm telling you, you can go to a preacher. You can sow $20 seed, $100 seed, all you want. You can do everything. You better put some wisdom in your head. Give to the ministry, give to God's servant, whatever you want to do. But don't think just giving to them and you violating certain principles is going to bring you out of debt. No. Maybe you have to go back and say to yourself, you know what? Okay, maybe I can't afford this place. Maybe I can't afford this car. Maybe I can't afford to shop that much. Maybe I need to shut down the internet shopping. I know. And see, now you don't like me. Now you don't like me. Now I was doing well until I mess with your internet shopping, your online shopping. Are you for real? Are you for real? Come on, man. But you got to be willing to do that. I happened to be looking at Facebook recently, and there's a couple. They were former members of our church. They moved away from this area, and they posted that they just purchased a home, but they shared their testimony that I think it was 14 years ago, they lost their house. They lost everything. No doubt it affected their credit. So it took a while for them to repair their credit because, as you know, when you have repossession on your credit or certain things, look, any creditor that comes to you or credit repair agency that comes to you and tell you in 2 months they can wipe out your credit from the credit bureau, they can take you from a 500 to a 750 in no time like that. You need to be careful of those people. It can happen, but it takes time. This couple did what they needed to do, and they just purchased their new home. Here's the point. Life hit us, all of us. We make bad decisions, dumb mistakes. But you know what? I'm so thankful that God is a God of second chance. And if you live within the realm of reality, I understand some of you spiritual people want to cancel out the section of reality and just live in the supernatural. But there's some things you're going to have to do. And if you follow those best practices, I promise you will transform your life. So again, number one, choose to live a stress-free life. Number two, know the difference between essentials and non-essentials. In other words, what's more important to you, especially in the area of how you spend, how you live your life? This year, God's going to listen. I said it from last year, 2021. The Lord's been preparing me to prepare the people that we're going to enter into a season where God is going to thrust us into some unique opportunities. Last year was the year of uncommon opportunities. And he actually gave us an opportunity, a window to repair our credit, to repair our finances, to repair our relationships, to give ourselves a second chance at love again. Come on now, right? And you're going to have to make some decisions on, okay, in order for me never to go back to poverty, never to go back from living from paycheck to paycheck, in order for me to be comfortable and live without stress, you're going to have to decide what are the essential things of your life and what are the non-essential things. The essential things are, okay, you need shelter. You need shelter. You have to live somewhere. You can't be under a bridge unless you're homeless. Okay? You need food. You have to eat, right? You have to wear clothes. You need transportation, obviously, because unless you're in an area where you can depend on the city transportation, right? Those are things that are essential. You need electricity. You need certain utilities and so forth, right? Those things you need. So you have to tell yourself, you've got to live somewhere. You got to drive a car, or you got to have money to take the bus. You need water, so you got to pay water bill. You got to pay light bill. Let's see, and those essential things. Now, you're going to have to be willing in this season of your life to put the non-essential things aside and don't embrace those things. Don't engage in acquiring those things for right now. It doesn't mean that you won't have what you want. It doesn't mean you won't have it, but in due season, God will take you from the environment of supplying all of your needs to you getting what you want. Ooh, that is good. You have to. So, for example, you need a house. That is essential. Well, but you don't need a house on the beach. You don't need a house in a gated community, or you don't need a house with certain features and all of the added, features to the house. Why? Because those are non-essential, because you just need somewhere to sleep. Hello. Okay, same thing with food. You need food. Okay, fine. You don't need steak, and you don't need expensive stuff and food and items. If this is the time for you to say, Lord, I know I'm going to be shopping at those other stores. I need clothes, but I really don't need to be going to Neiman Marcus or those high-end store. I don't need to go to even the outlet. You may say, but I can go to the outlet. See, that's what gets yourself in trouble. You may need to say, okay, I just need to wear something. And I can find plenty of clothes at other stores that, will still make me look good. You got to know the difference between your needs and your, what are those things that are not important, your wants. Number 3, The thing you need to do in this season of your life is to love yourself. Oh my goodness. Love yourself. Listen to me. When you love yourself, you demand of everybody to love you at your level. When you don't love yourself, a man will know and he'll take advantage of you. A woman will know and she'll take advantage of you. People will take advantage of you if you don't love yourself. This season of your life, you got to tell yourself, I love me. I love me. I love the way I look. I love the pigmentation of my skin tone. I love how I shape. And come on. If you say, well, okay, you're overweight, whatever. Okay, that's fine. You should know. You just say to yourself, okay, let me go do what I need to do. But there are some people, they work out, they do everything, but their system, honestly, and they stress themselves out. When you've done all you can, then you just stand in the Word of God and say, Lord, it's not that I'm lazy, sitting up eating pizza at 12 o'clock at night and so forth, and going to bed right after, laying in the bed and not doing anything. No, I've tried my best, God. And then you leave the rest to Him. But you have to love yourself. You have to tell yourself, when you look in the mirror, I love me. I appreciate me. And you know what? At the end of the day, I would love to get a spouse. I'd love to get a wife. I'd love to get a husband. But I'm not going to hook up with somebody who don't know my value. I'm not going to love somebody or give myself to somebody who don't show me that same respect or honor. Hello. You got to love yourself. Even in marriage. Your spouse can sometimes take advantage of you. So you got to tell yourself, because your spouse will tell you you're ugly. Your spouse will dog you out. Your spouse will do all kinds of stuff. But you have to tell yourself, I love me. Even if I'm in the marriage and this person don't see my value, I value me. Got to love yourself. Don't let your children drive you, watch this, to love them to the point of not loving yourself, that you do everything for them and neglect yourself. No. One of the podcasts I did in the past, I shared with you how it's important for you to take care of yourself. Just like when you go in on a plane and during the safety demonstration, they'll say to you, when the mask is dropped in front of you, put your mask on first before you assist anyone. Because if you're not well, listen to me, woman, man, listen to me. If you are not well, how are you going to help somebody? How are you going to help your children? How are you going to help your spouse, the person you're dating? How are you going to help your employees if you are not well yourself? So make sure you love yourself, love you, treat you good, get your rest, set perimeters and tell people this is a no stress zone, no gossip zone. Don't want no drama around here. There's a drama line that is built around me. No drama. I've been through too much of that. Not the second half of my life. Oh, I wish you would just respond to me. I'm looking at you. You're looking at me. I just wish you send me a comment and just say, Henry, this was for me. My goodness. All right, let's go to number 4. Have the right people around you. Okay? One of the best practices is for you to have the ability to discern who's around you and make sure, you keep, watch this, you keep those people who are on the same page with you, who are not jealous over you, who are there to advance you close to you. Keep your enemy at a distance. Now, you can never get rid of your enemies. They're always going to be there, lurking around, trying to infiltrate your space, your comfort zone, your protected zone. And you got to have to be wise. You got to have to make sure you put the right people around you. So you need to take inventory of those people who are in your life. Who's this? Who's that? Check them out, man. Check them out. Make sure that them people ain't crazy. Come on now. All right, number 5, manage your money wisely. Yes, you got to manage your money wisely. Listen, if you don't manage your money, I'm telling you, you're going to be broke forever. I've oftentimes say, it's not that people don't make money. The problem is they don't know how to manage their money. And the sooner you admit to that, embrace the fact that you don't know, therefore you're going to find out, it's the sooner you transform your life when it comes to your finances. Are you hearing me? So I'm suggesting to you for you to manage your money wisely. How do you do that? Follow the best practices. Follow, first of all, admit, own up, God, I need help. Send the right people. Let him give you the spirit of discernment. Then I strongly believe, listen, I know many of you won't do it, but you can stay and do whatever you want to do. 5 years from now, unfortunately, I'll find you in the same position you're in. Or you can say to yourself, okay, let me get a financial advisor. Let me research and find books that can help me structure my finances properly. Look at my intake, get my current output, financial expenses listed, and start going down the line to delete what I need to discontinue so I can save money. How do I save and all that kind of a stuff. Find out from people how to invest, things to do, to better yourself. Okay. I'm telling you something I have lived. Got to be smart. There's some investments out there. It's just a Ponzi scheme. That's all it is, and so forth. There's some that are legit and fine. If they are, they'll be proven. When they're tested, they will be proven to be true. Then you invest. I'm not telling you not to do your 401k. I'm not telling you not to trade and so forth. But do your research and your homework. And this is what I tell people, never put at risk, listen to me, never put at risk your essentials. Meaning, and I've said this over and over, a lot of you may disagree with me, I would never take equity out of my primary home unless it's a life and death situation, unless it's to save members of my family. Other than that, I will not. I will never take money out of my house to go buy another house to flip it. Because at the end of the day, I want to make sure me and my family is living somewhere. Now, if I have another property, I don't mind taking away from that property some funds out of the equity and go invest it. Worst case scenario, market crash, I lose everything. I lose the house, the investment house, but I know my address. I know where I'm going to sleep that night. I know my primary home is not in jeopardy. That's what I'm talking about. How to manage your money. How to manage your money. How to think of your retirement. How to think that, okay, if you are now 40, in reality, 25 more years from now, which will go by just like that, you're at that age now where you should say to yourself, you should be able to live off your retirement if you choose to retire. Think about that. If you choose to retire. You don't want to, in your 50s, and God help, in your 60s, you're now trying to think, I'm going to have retirement funds. You want to think about long-term care. Long-term care simply means, what if you get sick? What if you get sick and you didn't retire, and you have to have a 24-hour nurse, or you have to go to a nursing home? I mean, are you going to be at the mercy of your children, for your children to bring you to their home? Now you become a burden to them. I mean, the list goes on and on. Manage your money. I'm giving you wisdom. Some of you are just concerned about right now. I want this apartment. I want this condo. I want this house. I want this car. I want to dress up. I want to, it is a shame. And I don't mean it in an offensive way. I think I want to provoke you to change so that you can be better. It is a shame if you are dressing up every day, leaving your house, your high heels or your suit and so forth, and you got a bad car. You got a nice car. And okay, if and you're in your 30s and in your 40s and wow, and fine, it's a shame that you look so good in public, but you're stone broke, that if something was to happen to you right now, you lose that job or whatever, you're in the poorhouse. Stop trying to impress people. Now, if you got it like that, baby, go ahead with your bad self. Drive whatever you want to drive. Buy whatever you want to buy. Don't let nobody stop you. If you got money to go buy a $200,000 car, if you got money to go buy $1 million car, go help yourself, girl. Don't let nobody stop you. Buy it. But if you really can't afford it, leave it alone. Number 6, I love this. Laugh a lot. This will help you. If you practice this every day this year, laugh a lot. The Bible says laughter is like medicine. Laugh a lot. Even when you should be crying, just laugh. One thing with me, I'm telling you, I love to laugh. Now, I know my laugh may be funny. It sounds weird. Some people say, man, your laugh is so weird. And all kinds of stuff. I just love to laugh. And there are times when I'm hurting. I just laugh. And I find that that's therapy for me. Laugh a lot, man. And finally, forgive a lot. Forgive a lot. Don't hold people up in your heart. It's not worth it, baby. Stay away from those people, man. It's not worth it. Forgive a lot. Forgive a lot. So quickly, let me run through these 7 things, and they're going to put them up on the screen. You won't see me. You'll see them. I want them to put it up on the screen like that. I want you to see the 7 things that you need to do this year. These are the 7 best practices of 2021. Number 1, choose to live stress-free. Number 2, know the difference between essentials and non-essentials. Number 3, love yourself. Number 4, have the right people around you. Number 5, manage your money wisely. Number 6, laugh a lot. And number 7, forgive a lot. Write them down, please. Put them on your refrigerator. Put them in your car, somewhere you remember every day. Put them at your desk. And practice these things every day this year, throughout the entire year. And I promise you, your life will be transformed. Henry Fernandez here saying to you, thank you so much for joining me with this community of people on this podcast. I'll see you next time.